Central African time, and we're coming to you live from Johannesburg in South Africa. The Democratic Republic of the Congo and Rwanda have agreed to a series of coordinated steps to de-escalate tensions and advance progress on the ground. This is according to a joint statement by the United States, the DRC and Rwanda, released by the United States Department of State on Wednesday. This follows this week's meeting hosted by the U.S., where senior officials from the two countries met to revive the stalled peace process in eastern DRC. The latest development comes after the collapse of the Washington Accord for Peace and Prosperity, an agreement signed in December aimed at ending decades of conflict and fostering regional stability. For more on this, we are joined on the line by a DRC political analyst, Didier Bayeye. Didier, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
Good afternoon, Lulu. Good afternoon to the listeners, or again, good morning to those who are in a different part of the world, like where I am currently. Always a pleasure to be on your program.
Didier, it's always a pleasure to chat to you. Now, what do you make of this latest agreement? Do you believe this will be a lasting peace agreement? And also, just considering the fact that the M23 rebel was not part of this meeting.
Yes, that's something very important you mentioned on your last sentence, Lulu. There's always no M23 in this peace agreement. Instead, there is the DRC and there is Rwanda in the peace agreement. So this takes us back to believe that the M23 have their representative, which is Rwanda, and then Rwanda is indeed backing and supporting the M23. Now, coming to the question, the issue of agreement has been going from one agreement to the next agreement to the ongoing agreements, so many agreements. If the situation persists, it will keep going from one agreement to another agreement. It's just because either both parties are not upholding their responsibility in the agreement, or one of the parties is not upholding their responsibility in the previous agreement. According to what unfolded in December in Washington and the peace agreement between the DRC and Rwanda under the mediation of President Trump, all forces, uninvited forces in the DRC had to withdraw with immediate effect. What we have seen is not actually what happened. There were still RDF, that's a Rwanda Defense Force, still existing in the DRC. Then after that, we have seen a series of sanctions by the US imposed to Rwanda because of the holding Rwanda accountable, saying that they are not respecting the peace deal, the peace agreement, which they signed in December, mediated by President Donald Trump. But we've seen again the US inviting the official once again for another deal again, another agreement. It's not actually another agreement. This time it's to reinforce the agreement which was done, which was agreed, which was accepted by both parties, but then to see where did it go wrong, who is failing in observing and respecting their part of the agreement, so that peace will reign in the Great Lake region and between these two countries, the DRC and the Rwanda.
Rwanda still denies accusations of it aiding the M23. And there have been, statements of Rwanda's president saying that the DRC president must handle his country. So are they going to move forward? And is this going to be resolved?
The denial of Rwanda having its military in the DRC is now a thing of the past, because a lot of evidence, including himself, the Rwandan president keeps contradicting himself. There is an interview which was done, if I'm not mistaken, by BBC, where he was asked a clear question: do you have your troops in the DRC? And his answer was, I do not know. Well, then couple of months down the line, he still confirmed that we have our people there, our troops there for our peace because of the LDF threats. And these people are in the DRC. That is why we deploy our forces to protect and defend ourselves. So until when will he keep changing, swinging from one statement to another, contradicting himself? So I don't think at this stage there is still a doubt about whether there is a Rwandan troop in the DRC or not, because evidence have been produced. The M23 is not a loyal army. The weapon they are using are registered under Rwanda, Rwandan Defense Force, and then including some perpetrators that were arrested by the DRC forces who testified they were coming from Rwanda. So this is not a thing of thinking, is it true or not? No, it's no longer the case. That is why you see every time there is peace agreement, there is no M23 coming on the table, but instead there is Rwanda. So if Rwanda is not involved, why is he always present in the peace agreement? Why is he always traveling as far as to the US to go sign the peace agreement, then if he's innocent and doesn't recognize anything? So this contradiction, I think, must also come to an end if, Rwandan authorities are a little bit more serious. So they need to be rational and stand with one statement, do exactly what they say. If they are there, why are they there, and then why they shouldn't be there, why they should withdraw, or they are not there and they shouldn't cross the border. Because one important section of this Washington agreement is the recognition and the respect of the territorial integrity of the Democratic Republic of Congo, which Rwanda has to respect.
And what do you make of the U.S. vested interest in brokering a peace deal between the DRC and Rwanda?
Yes, the U.S. has great interest. The U.S. is brokering peace between the DRC and Rwanda primarily to secure access to the DRC's vast untapped critical mineral reserve. This is the prime reason why the U.S. is now brokering the peace agreement. So they want to gain access to this rare earth and the rare minerals of the future. China is coming up very fast, and as we all know, the competition between the US and China is visible. It's so loud that US also want to position itself and for its future technology, whether for aviation or for military field, for weaponry fabrications and automobile industry and electrical, so many things. So they needed to position themselves as a great state, a great country of the future. So that is why they cannot operate in an environment that is hostile, that doesn't have peace. Yeah, well, this is the primary interest of the United States of America.
Didier, we have to leave it here for today. Thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure chatting to you.
Thanks, Lulu Gabu. We speak to you next time.
Thank you. It's Didier Bayeye, a DRC political analyst, joining us on the line. It is 12:30 Central African time, and it is time for the headlines.
SABC News.